Okay, so we're ready to print our multicolor monotypes now, and again this sort of works for just a single color monotype as well. I'm going to show you how to do registration for both a color, for two colors, but it kind of is the same thing. We have our registration matrix, which you should have learned how to make a while ago, and then we're going to go ahead and put our plate down on the registration matrix, and so I've got my spot drawn for it where it's going to go. I'm going to line it up and kind of drop it on there, and sometimes you have to use your fingernails or one of the cards and kind of just scooch it around a little bit to make sure that it's lined up where it's supposed to be. So once I've got it on there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my soaked and blotted piece of paper that I've got from back here, and I'm going to go ahead and just put that down in the spots I've drawn for pretty much where that paper needs to go. And I'm just going to drop it on there. I'm not going to mess with it. If it goes on crooked, oh well. That's just kind of the way that it goes. And then I'm going to go ahead and, mark the crosshairs, and then I'll put some newsprint over it too. So I've got my paper placed where it's supposed to go, and I have my registration matrix ready to go. The thing to do with Monotype, since it can get kind of messy, is make sure that you cover up your Monotype plate with at least 2 pieces of newsprint. If it's really thick and juicy, cover it up with like a really thick piece of your own good paper, like 2 pieces of paper. You just don't want this soaking through and hitting our felts and ruining everything that we're doing here. So we're gonna put our first sizing catcher blanket down, and then we're gonna go ahead and drop these blankets down on top of everything else. You want to try and make sure that you're not scooching this around the way that I'm doing it now. Very bad example. Line that up, and then we'll just drop these guys here. So once you get this first set of blankets lined up, then you want to roll this back and double check that our sizing catcher is not all wrinkly, that it's not all messed up. So I got that down. Just pull this guy back. Smooth them out. Okay, so now we're going to run this thing through the press for the first time and see how it turns out. So, say a prayer, whatever kind of superstitious things that you like to do, rub the lucky rabbit's foot, whatever it takes. Make sure our press is plugged in and everybody's clear. You're clear! We're just going to run it through this direction. So we're going to send our print through under a lot of pressure going this way. We'll go ahead and flip the felts back here out of the way. And then what you want to make sure you do, and everybody make sure you take note of this, all right, is you want to make sure that you're marking your registration marks before you flip this piece of paper off. So before you take the piece of paper off the press bed, you want to make sure that you are marking the registration marks. So there are 4 spots where the crosshairs align with your paper, and with a pencil, real lightly, you just want to mark the back of the plate, right? So you want to put those 4 registration marks on the back. I like to draw a little arrow so I know which way was up when I was setting all this up. And I'm just going to peel this off. Oh, quite nice, and you get a sense of what it looks like with our first color. So, so this is what it looks like first run through without any, without any other colors printed on top of it. And you can see here I've got some pretty thick areas that kind of squished around on me and kind of got a little too much. So that might be a spot where I'd want to, try and make everything a little bit smoother for the next one. But it's definitely looking pretty good. So we'll move on to this printing our second color now.